Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. So here is my Q&A for The Walking Dead's episode 8 and 9. And I also do want to add a little bit of World Beyond in here for episodes 1 and 2. So obviously this will contain spoilers for episodes 1 and 2 of World Beyond, as well as episode 8 of The Walking Dead. And yeah, that's basically it. So thank you guys so much for posting all of your questions on Twitter here. Make sure to go follow me on Twitter or on Instagram if you guys want to take part in these Q&As. I also will be doing my next Q&A on Discord. So if you haven't followed me on Discord yet or joined the server, it's just, the link is down below. It's just Appetite for the Dead. There we can chat about a lot of stuff there, like regarding The Walking Dead. And we can also chat about other things in general. I have other things that people can talk about, like the NHL. I mean, no one's really talking about things in there, but I want to talk more hockey, and not even that. There's some Marvel stuff, there's horror movie stuff, like there's a lot of channels for different types of conversations, and so yeah, it's awesome to have. I mean, to be honest, it's such a cool thing to have because it's a really great way of communicating with you guys, because like, you know, it's really hard to communicate with people on Twitter and on Instagram because you're just commenting on people's comments, right? Like if you comment something and I reply to it, it's not really a conversation, but on Discord it actually is, because it's kind of like just texting, right? But yeah, anyways, I hope to see you guys there on the server. We're almost at 600 members, so it'd be really cool to hit that soon. And not only that, hit 1,000, because that's actually the big goal right now, is to hit 1,000 members on the Discord. But anyways, let's get into the first question here. So I think a great ending for World Beyond would be if everyone teamed up against the CRM and it ends in another lineup and everyone dies. Not just because I want to see them all die, but also because it would just be really cool. Yeah, I've thought about this type of ending where you just have all the characters killed off. It's very sad and tragic, and it's sort of, you know, like it makes sense in a way too, because these characters, like, what are we gonna see them in future spinoffs? Probably not, right? Like I don't see a reason to really reintroduce these characters, just because they're not really fan favorites. People aren't really a fan of the characters, I would say. Like generally, audience members don't really care about the World Beyond cast for the most part, besides characters like Elizabeth Kublik, but she's really the only one. Out of every other character, I think they're basically forgettable, but Elizabeth Kublik is a character that, like, I really want to see a lot more from, right? But besides that, Q&A, how do you see Rick returning this season on The Walking Dead, and do you think Jadis will mention something about him in World Beyond? Yeah, on that first part there, if I see him returning at all, and I've talked about this several times, but I think it's going to be in the very final episode, and it'll be a short scene at the end where he's reading this book to his grandson, Carl. And on that last part there, do you think Jadis will mention something about him in World Beyond? I think she will. My only sort of not even that I think, like, it's been confirmed, she's going to. It's just that I'm worried she's not going to say Rick, right? Like, I'm worried that when she talks about what happened on that helicopter ride, or she mentions Rick, she just more says something like, you know, I had a friend, or something like that. Then I'm just like, oh my God, because then you got to like try to put two and two together. Like, obviously she's meaning Rick, but why wouldn't she just say Rick, right? Like, I want her just to say the name Rick. I don't know why. It's like he's become Voldemort or something. Like, the cast members won't say his name ever. Like, none of the characters, they'll never say his name. It's insane. And obviously it's a writing choice. It's just such a dumb writing choice. So I really hope that they say his name. My question's more about the Rick movies, haha, but do you think Rick maybe has people he's met at the CRM that are even closer to him than people like Michonne and Daryl? Timeline-wise, Rick's only been with Michonne and Daryl and everyone for, or at most 2 years, or at least 5 years. Yeah, you know, like that's something that I've talked about actually, like a long time ago. I think it was at some point after the Rick movies, after the Rick's last episode aired, because they're jumping forward 6 years. By the time we see Rick again, if he met someone shortly after he arrived at the CRM, he's been with that person for the most part 6 years, right? It could be an entire group of people that he's been with for 6 years. And like, he would know them basically, or been with them longer than he's ever been with anyone, right? Back in Alexandria, even like Judith, like he's spent more time with these characters, maybe more time with Jadis than he's ever spent with Judith, Michonne, Daryl, anyone, right? That's pretty insane to think about. And so I think that would be cool to introduce this new type of Walking Dead family, right? Have other characters that we can really fall in love with, because I think that's what the show really needs right now. The show and the franchise needs newer characters to fall in love with. That's why I really do support the idea of not having Michonne or Daryl and etc. in the movies until like the second or third one, right? Just to be able to introduce newer characters, have them fan favorites and become, like, the way I see it, Rick has always sort of made other characters more likable depending on his relationship with them, right? Michonne in the beginning was sort of just out there, and people were unsure about her, but once they started to get closer, once Michonne started to do things that benefited the group, things that benefited Rick specifically, all of a sudden everyone starts to like Michonne, right? And the same thing goes with Daryl. As soon as Daryl started to do things that benefited Rick and like the group and stuff, people started to like Daryl more, right? It's sort of one of those things, like everyone's on Team Rick for the most part, and so once people start to do things that benefits Team Rick, then people start to like that character. And so I think if there's a person or a few people, obviously in the movies, that are on Team Rick and they're like, you know, really good friends, and we see them struggle together and they do things that obviously benefit Rick and we like, then they're going to become fan favorites. People are going to start to really like these characters, and if they're in iconic scenes, if they do some more original stuff there, I mean, honestly, I can't wait. I think it'd be so cool if there was a scene, like, obviously don't do it because it'd be a little cringy, but if there was a scene where Rick said something like, "You're my brother," to like another character sort of thing, but don't actually say that. But I just mean like be very close with someone else like that, right? Like have another Daryl or Shane out there. Do you think that the CRM would be the final arc / end game for all the Walking Dead franchises, since it seems like the Walking Dead / Fear / World Beyond are all giving us a little about the CRM and maybe a possibility where all the characters from the original and spin-offs meet? I don't really like the idea of it. I mean, I think this is the way I see it going. I think this is the way I think it should go anyways. The CRM should be like this really big arc that we're on right now. It's this overall arc that started from season 1 technically, right? It started from then, and we're building up to this thing. And I think the movies and all the television shows and stuff, I don't know if they should necessarily collide together. I'm not that big of a fan of it. Like, The Walking Dead is going to end on its own. It's not going to collide with the CRM movie or the Rick movies, right? It's just you're going to have other characters going to there. They're going to have their own spinoffs. Like, I think if Fear the Walking Dead ends, just have Morgan go to a different spinoff. Or I guess in the movies, right? Not specifically another spinoff. And then once the CRM threat is defeated, once they wrap up that arc anyways, and they go wherever they're going to go with it, then afterwards, maybe things are relatively peaceful for a while. You do that 20-year time jump. And then once all the other characters like Judith and all of them are much older, they take on the mantle, right? They're the new characters, and then maybe there's another threat at that point. But that would be 20, 30, 40 years from now, right? When they're much older, when Judith is like in her 40s or whatever. Then there could be a different threat, like a different mega threat at that point. And what's the state of the zombie apocalypse going to be like then? You're going to have a lot of the original cast members die off old, or they'll be killed off beforehand. And this way you're just sort of passing on the baton, right? You have this amazing, really epic story. That's where I see everything going, or at least that's where I hope everything goes. Do you think Maggie or Negan are going to die in episode 9 after the cliffhanger? No, they're definitely not going to die. That's a little crazy. Like, I think if they were to die, that would actually be super shocking to see that, because they literally just brought Maggie back, right? So no, she's not going to die. Negan's not going to die either, because they're going to want to do spin-offs and stuff like that. Q&A, do you think Carver will kill someone in episode 9, say someone like Elijah, before he gets killed or captured? Because he looks like someone who wouldn't go out without a fight. Yeah, like, out of all the characters there, Elijah's the only character that can really die. Like, I'm trying to think of anyone else. Like they could kill off Gabriel. I just feel like it's not going to happen yet. They're obviously not killing off Maggie, Daryl, and Negan. And that's kind of the issue with where they're at right now, right? Like, you look at all the characters that are there, and I'm like, you're not killing off most of these characters. The only characters realistically, Gabriel has a slight chance, I guess. They could kill him off potentially. But I think out of all those characters, you're going to kill off either Elijah, or I guess Alden, right? Alden could be a death, because he's still kind of out there technically. But yeah, I hope Carver gets to kill someone like that. I think that would be really cool, because I really like the character of Carver. Do you think Negan will line the Reapers up and take them all out like he wished he'd done to Rick's group? I think that would be kind of cool. That'd be a cool scene to see. I just don't see him doing that. First of all, he doesn't have Lucille, and he's not really that character anymore. But also, I don't think the Reapers would like kneel down and be afraid. Honestly, the Reapers, like, I look at Rick's group in that situation. Rick's group just obeyed, and like, they were scared, obviously. The Reapers, I don't think are ever going to do that. The Reapers, if they ever came across Negan's group or the Saviors back then, I think they react fast. They will have weapons on them, because obviously they're going to have weapons. Like, that's just what they are. They're killers, right? They're going to have weapons on them. And so they're going to, even if they all die, they're going to try to take out that entire group. And I think Negan's going to, honestly, that's why I say the Reapers are probably one of the most dangerous threats the show has ever introduced. Obviously, the Commonwealth could be really big and the CRM are much bigger. But in terms of like skill and everything, the Reapers are just insane. Do you think we will see Pamela Milton in episode 9 of The Walking Dead? Yes, I really do. Honestly, I really believe that we're going to see Pamela Milton in episode 9. I think it would be so insane to not introduce the character right away. I guess you could push it off to 10, and I could see them doing that because there's some rumors out there, but like I see it happening at the end of episode 9. That's where I see it. For sure in 10, but at the end of episode 9. But thank you guys so much for posting all of your questions. I really enjoyed doing all this. Make sure to go follow me on Twitter or on Discord or on Instagram and all that if you want to take part in future Q&As. But yeah, thank you guys so much for all of your questions, and I'll see you guys in the next one.